Hi, this is Sudhaunshu Purohit, and I'm an actor, and also I'm aspiring screenwriter and director. And I'm on Facebook. You can find me over there, and from there we can go.
You started your journey. So where do you want to end up? Like, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your journey to be?
That is a really big question. Uh, my legacy, I want to contribute as an actor, as a screenplay writer, and as a director in Hollywood. If possible, I have not yet thought about it, but I would need to start developing the script that would fit for Indian culture, Indian audience, for Bollywood as well. That is how I see um, certain ideas, certain questions, the answers for the questions that I found, which I feel I need to show the world that this could be the reason. I don't know if it is. If you have some, this is like exactly same that happens in science. We have certain question. You can come up with certain answer. Unless and until I can find a better answer than yours, your answer will be called as a theory.
That's right.
This is how the science works. So similarly, I'm going to fantasize that theory. I'm going to make a story out of it. I want to show it to world. And I hope people will enjoy. I know this path is extremely arduous. It's not going to be easy and it's going to take a time, but I'm determined. It took me 9 years to complete my PhD. I have the most important thing I have learned out of PhD is to have patience. I have the patience.
Yeah.
And um, when you use the word legacy is a big concept. I would try to leave my name as a great actor, a great screenwriter, and a great uh, director.
And I see you have a degree in chemistry.
Yeah, that's a whole new story. I mean, since I was a kid, I was always interested in acting career. This all started something I should say it is genetical because my mom was performing in theaters in dramas when she was young, and that is how that thing got passed on into me. And when I was a kid, she used to teach me various aspects of acting and so forth. And when I was in school, until I finished the school, I participated in various stage dramas. There used to be inter-school competitions of dramas and so forth, and I won few best acting prizes for those dramas. Uh, but I don't know what happened. I mean, after the school was done and I went to the college, uh, I decided I am going to focus more. I chose science to be my career. And at that time, it was not even decided if I'm going to do chemistry or physics or maths or any other subject or not. I had no idea, but I decided that I'm not going to get back in the drama and acting anymore. Science is my field.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pursued that. I completed my bachelor's and master's from University of Mumbai, and then I moved to University of Kentucky in 2007, and I earned a second master's degree, and then I moved to University of Missouri, Kansas City in 2010, and then in 2016 I completed my PhD in chemistry. So I went on the career path for chemistry. Chemistry is my bread and butter, but you know that that thing that keeps on in your heart, acting, film. That is what I'm made for. That did not let me stop from thinking about films and all that career. Um, Sometime during my PhD, I would say um, in 2010 or 2011, as far as I remember prominently, I was thinking about certain scientific concept for quite a long time. Long time, when I say that is when I was in eighth grade in school. I was reading a book about human evolution on
Hmm.
Earth, how it all happened and so forth.
Yes.
And I had to make a project on that, all that information. And from that, I got certain questions. The questions were rather asked in a book, which I was referring to. And they did not have any answer about it. And they asked the audience about the question that these are the questions that are unanswered yet. And that got stuck in my mind. And I kept on thinking about that particular process for so many years. After that, I completed school, I got into chemistry and so forth. Um, Finally, I feel I have arrived to a conclusion. I'm not sure if it is a right conclusion or wrong or whatnot, if anyone's gonna support this conclusion, if it is scientific even or not. I don't. Anyways, when I found certain answers to satisfy myself after like 20 years of thinking,
Hmm.
because I got tired that 20 years I'm thinking on the same question. I thought this is rather a good story for a movie. Who cares scientifically if it is right or not? This is a science fiction story. And I had this particular realization that this could be turned into a great movie sometime in 2015 or 16, something like that. And that was the time, until that time, I had no idea about what a script writing would be, what are the various aspects of screenplay writing, how this entire business goes, and so forth. At that time, I was still working on my PhD. I was barely few months away from getting my PhD.
Hmm.
And I started thinking about it because that was the time I was done, almost getting done with my PhD. Now my mind was again empty. Like I have now time and
Yeah.
space in my mind to think about something else that I really enjoy.
Hmm.
So after that, I found a job in a chemical company in suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. Um, Even though I was working in a company, every day my mind is constantly engulfed in these thoughts of screenwriting. I
Yes.
have no connections, no idea, except a friend of mine back in UNKC. He's an actor, Frank Oakley. Great guy, real gentleman. He tried to give me some guidance, and um, that's how the journey started. And from acting, now my new passion, I would say, is screenwriting. Um, I just mentioned about this one movie, which is a science fiction.
Yeah.
Uh, while thinking about it, I also slowly developed a horror genre story, which rather a kind of incident that actually happened in my life gave me an inspiration that, okay, this particular event that has happened, this can be developed and put into a screenplay for a movie. And that
Yeah.
is how then I added various aspects into it to write down the screenplay. And I also have three other stories which could be called a drama. One of them is quite serious and sad story, a drama. It is about an artist who's struggling real hard to achieve his dreams. He's a painter, uh, no financial backup, no support, nothing, and how he struggles and he eventually gets to what he wants, or if he doesn't get to what he wants. That's the story.
Yeah.
Uh, and similarly, few other ideas about kids being friends since their childhood. They grow up. There is a love triangle kind of thing. So it's a love story. Um, so I have certain ideas which I want to turn into the screenplay, and then we'll go from there.
Well, the $1 million question for me would be, since you are from Mumbai, India has very dynamic cinema, right? It's unique. It's not
It is.
identical to United States. So your thought process in these screenplays that you're thinking about, are they thought about in the India cinema context, or is it in the American Hollywood context? Which one are
American.
you? American. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes. Because I came to US in 2007, uh, July of 2007. So it has been 14 years now. I'm in US. Uh, my stories, my plots, all those thoughts, they got developed when I was in US. And the way I said, the first time I started having the ideas in 2013 and 14, something like that. So whatever I could visualize for those stories to develop, the characters, the plot, the location where so and so scene is going to happen in my story. All those are different locations and places in United States. So the characters, because I understand your question, what you're asking. For example, let's say if there is a novel in India, which
Yes.
is quite famous in India, and if I want to make a Hollywood version of that novel, it is not going to be easy because those the description, the characters, everything that has been developed in the novel is from Indian society perspective. You need to translate it. You need to convert it in the American society before it is ready to be submitted to Hollywood.
That's right.
So I got your point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, the way I said, according to your question, my ideas are developed specifically for the US location, and all the characters are also, rather, my characters are mixed because I understand the importance of diversity. So the characters are mixed of, that is how the America is. That is how I have seen America. We are of all different colors and races and religions and religious backgrounds, socio-economic backgrounds, and so forth. So more the diversity you show in your movie, I believe more different types of audience are you going to capture.
How are you going to tackle the diversity issue? And I guess what I mean by that question is you're going to have to some kind of way mold or develop characters that are different from you, that have different backgrounds, places you haven't been. So do you have, and I know you're fresh and you just started, but do you have any idea in your head of how you would develop a character like Peter? Like, you don't know me, I'm from New Orleans. If you have a character that's from New Orleans, do you have any idea how you would mold and develop a character like that?
This was the beauty of the PhD program. I'm really fortunate because in my university, not just in my university, in every university, most of the big universities, I would say, you have a myriad of students from different countries, and with whom I have mingled with them. I went out with them. I invited them at my place. We became good friends, and all the different countries, various countries from the continent of Africa, from Europe, Australia, New Zealand, of course, from India, US originals, from South American continent. I have friends from various parts of the world with different languages, different culture, different food habits and so forth. Um, some of my characters in my story, I have directly taken from those friends of mine.
Mm.
The way they talk about their home country, about the food that they have in their country. I have heard all those things. I have discussed with them about what's in their family, how, if there is certain type of festival which is famous in their country, what they do for that festival. So I have those ideas, and I'm still friends with those guys. So at any time, I feel if I need some more information on certain aspects of their culture, I can still contact them and ask them freely, very honestly, hey, I'm writing the script and I need some information about blah, blah, blah. Can you help me? And I'm pretty sure I will get that information. So
Absolutely.
when I talk about certain, um, let me give you a quick example. One of the character in one of the horror stories that I have, he's from African country, Ghana. And I actually have a friend from Ghana.
Okay.
So that is how I just, it became more practical and manageable, when you have a vision, that person is in front of your eyes. So now I can describe it. So observation was the big part in all this character development. Um, and I feel that is the answer of your question.
Absolutely, man. That's a great idea. Are you thinking about tackling some short film first? Or are you going to just jump straight into your feature?
Good, really good question. Initially, when I started thinking about that science fiction story, I had no other ideas in my mind. That was the only idea I was focused on. And that particular thing, I see it becoming full-length feature film. The other two ideas that I told you about, um, the drama and the horror, I also see them as a full-length feature film. But I have some other ideas, one of which I have already written, not in a script format, but um, jotted down all the and the scenery and the location, how the surroundings would be, what would be the characters, what would be the dialogues. I have written down everything in a Word document. This is just for myself so that I get what the premises of this particular thing is. That is a 5 minute long short film.
Mm.
Maybe even shorter than that, could be even 4.5 minutes. Um, what I have in mind for that is I would first need to write a screenplay. If possible, I'm exploring the options for the finances, funding from where I can get. If possible, I would try to contact some of the actors who are out there who would like to contribute for free, because I'm not going to be able to pay them for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to direct that entire 5 minute long uh, short, so that it would be, first of all, for me, I have never directed anything. I have acted in many stage dramas and so forth, but from the direction point of view, I have not done anything. But I feel I have a vision of how this particular thing is going to go, where I want my cameras, what are going to be the dialogues, who are going to be the characters,
Mm-hmm.
what is the theme, and so forth. And the way I said, it won't be more than 5 minutes. So that is something I can manage. A novice person like me to begin with, this could be a good learning experience for me as well, um, which I can then later on, send it to someone and get evaluated
Yeah. Do you think
from the.
your acting, the fact that you're kind of grounded in acting, you kind of start off early in life. Do you think that's going to contribute or help you write your screenplays?
Yes, yes, yes. The reason I feel is when you are acting, you actually get onto the stage, you get in the character, you get in that mood. And I was taught by many people when I was in the school when I was a kid. I was taught by many people. First person is my mother, because she herself being actor, she was able to tell me various things, how it is the important aspects how it is supposed to be. Even some of my teachers, they guided me real good. So when you are an actor, you can get a good sense of where the camera is, where your audiences are, where the lights are, where the mic is, how in a high pitch or low pitch you are supposed to speak.
Hmm.
Your each movement, you're actually in there. You're living that particular life for that those few minutes or few hours, you know. So you get that sense, and that is why when you are actually writing the script or even developing a story. Now, this thing particular happened with me, that when I'm thinking of the story, I'm visualizing it already. I want this particular scene in this particular way to go on. Another character would be 5 feet away from me. Light should be coming from here. Camera should be taken from there. So this is how I imagine it. This is how I visualize it. And then I write down those points in the Microsoft Word. What now still remains between that Microsoft Word document and the actual script is learning all the terminologies. I mean, I'm quite aware of the basic terminologies in slug lines, such as EXT is exterior and INT
Hmm.
interior and all that. But
Yeah.
there are still some minor things into it which I still need to learn and improve myself, because the way I see it, I want to write it in such a manner so that it would be absolutely perfect. And I completely understand the first draft is never going to be perfect, even though there would be second, third, fourth, multiple drafts. But it's okay. I'm ready for it. So when I was in my PhD, the draft for my dissertation, my advisor made it right 4 times. So
Okay.
it's okay. I understand.
Yeah. So you've learned from that. Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why don't you contrast for me, since you grew up in Indian cinema and now you've had a chance to live in America? What do you think are the good or bad the differences between the two?
Um, there are no songs in Hollywood movies.
You're right, except for Greece, right?
Okay? Unless the movie is a musical.
That's right.
That's a whole different genre, but otherwise there are no songs, which is a good thing. I would definitely say. I was never fond of, because I agree in Bollywood movies, in Indian movies, when there are songs are okay
Hmm.
unless they do not hinder your story. You know, sometimes, not sometimes, many times in Bollywood movies, this is seen that your story is going on, audience is really into the story is really exciting, and suddenly out of no context there is a song.
Yeah.
Your hero and his girlfriend, they are dancing, I mean, for what? If there is a song through which there is a continuation of the story, then that song is appropriate. And there are songs like that. Say, for example, in some of the movies, it has been shown that cops are pursuing a criminal and they do not know where he is. And then they hear that he would be in a strip club. So they would go to a strip club. Now there is a song. Girls are dancing. There are some other crooked villains sitting around and so forth. But song is going on. But what they are showing us is cops are still inquiring. Have you seen this guy? Where is he? Where is he?
Yeah, yeah.
This is where I would say your story did not stop. It is still going on. So that song is accepted. But suddenly, out of somewhere, people start dancing, running around the trees, and that is something I would not like. So that is the one difference. Another one is Hollywood industry has great CGI effects, all those computer graphics, and that technique is really supreme. If I compare Indian movies with Hollywood CGI, it is not up to the Hollywood standards yet.
Hmm.
They are making good efforts into it, definitely. Movies like if you may have heard about Bahubali.
Hmm.
So that has some pretty good CGI effects, but not every movie does that. And that is why I feel in Bollywood, we do not have much science fiction movies, barely one or two, really.
Yeah, most of them are from what I see, like on Netflix or just on YouTube, like seeing some of the commercials. It's a lot of police officers chasing a criminal. Like it's a lot of that. But I think some of the special effects though that they have in some of that stuff have been phenomenal, right? Like some of the car chases and some of the ways that the guys step out of the vehicles, some of the way that the guys handle the guns have been phenomenal.
Yes, but Bollywood movies lack science fiction.
Yeah,
Is true. It is true.
yeah,
Other than that, the brilliance in acting is in both the industries. Brilliance in story, brilliance in cinematography, direction, and excuse me.
hmm,
I find that in both the industries, Hollywood as well as Bollywood. So that is something really good.
yeah. What American movies are you fond of? Like, give me some of your favorite American movies.
Uh, do you want me to start since when I was a kid? Because my
Just
liking has changed
oh, really?
as
Okay, okay,
as
okay.
as I grew up. Liking has changed, but some of the movies, um, since I was a kid, my father has been a real big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
He's of the same age too as they are.
Hmm.
So it would surprise you. The first movie I have watched in my life since I was a kid is a Hollywood movie. I started watching Bollywood movies much later.
Okay.
Uh, in my father's opinion, Hollywood movies were always better than Bollywood movies. So that is how it used to go.
Okay.
Uh, Rocky and Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, Rambo. These used to be the most, uh, uh, at least 100 times I have watched these movies.
Yeah.
This sentence would suffice what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
Um, and Conan the Barbarian is still my favorite movie. I'm not going to deny that. Well, anyways, later on, when I started growing, my taste for the movies changed. Um, Along with the action and sci-fi and the mystery and all that, I started liking drama.
Hmm.
Um, some of the movies I can name as The Castaway, Tom Hanks,
Hmm.
wonderful from all point of view. It is brilliantly made. I would struggle with words to commend for that movie. Um, Similarly, Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe,
Yeah.
Professor John Nash,
Hmm.
that movie. And the best part of watching that movie was before that I had watched Gladiator. So I had watched LA Confidential. So Russell Crowe was a action movie star for me. Rough and tough guy who's gonna beat the shit out of everyone and so forth. Here, he is a schizophrenic, brilliant mathematics professor who gets mocked, who gets derided for all the time because of his disease.
Hmm.
Eventually, he wins the Oscar,
That's right.
well, the Nobel Award, and that's something caught my attention. And at that time, I was pursuing my chemistry career, so I was able to connect myself with all the situation, the university, all the PhD program, and the research, and so forth. Um, some other movies I would name, such as Denzel Washington is one of my favorite characters, and Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, I mean, seriously, hats off to him. Um, Denzel Washington's The American Gangster,
Hmm.
fantastically made. Russell Crowe again portrayed totally different character, not as his regular rough and tough guy. Um, Morgan Freeman, I'm sorry, Denzel Washington was just fantastic. That movie, in all the aspects, the movie was really great. I have watched some of Leonardo's movie. The first movie I watched that was Titanic, and I was still in school at that time when Titanic was released. Um, how he developed from Titanic to The Revenant, his journey is phenomenal. His acting skills, his overall presence, his dialogue delivery, and everything, he just takes over. Um, The Wolf of Wall Street was phenomenal. So these are the types of movies I started liking more, where I want to see some real story, some solid substance into it. I want to see the acting, the real acting part.
Well, socially speaking, you can push back on this if you disagree, but I don't think that the Hollywood movies reflect or accurately depict a lot of things that they show. Whether in Breaking Bad the chemistry is not necessarily accurate, or whether they don't necessarily show us Mumbai the way Mumbai is. Would you agree with that statement, or you disagree with that statement? That Hollywood is kind
I
of failing us in that.
um I would say yes and no, both. Um, let's talk about the Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Now, when you specifically mentioned Breaking Bad, I started watching it in 2019. My friends kept on telling me, "Hey, you are a chemistry guy. You should watch this. You'll enjoy it." I did not watch it. I watched it in 2019 and I simply loved it.
Yes.
There are two aspects which were shown extremely practical. For that type of audience who have no background of chemistry whatsoever, for them, many things would be surprising. For me, there were many things that were not surprising. For example, Jesse is trying to run the reaction to make whatever that drug is, meth.
Yeah. Crystal meth. Yeah.
Crystal meth. Um, they are showing certain apparatus, some glassware, which he's going to connect, and then he's going to start his reaction. I used to immediately find out. It is not just I, any other chemistry person would be able to figure this out. I would be able to figure out this particular apparatus is not supposed to be there and not in a way that he has placed it. This reaction is going to fail and there is going to be an accident to start. And then they actually showed it that
Okay.
Jesse messes up everything. Day before yesterday, I was talking to my father about this TV series, and I told him, "You need to watch this, and I'll be with you when you watch this." I strongly felt, I'm not sure, but I feel the writer is either a chemistry person or he must have taken some sort of guidance from some other chemistry person, because everything that they have shown there is technically correct. Another
Sure.
part which really caught my attention, my heart, the end of the series. Walter White is hurt. He's got the bullet. He knows he's gonna die. A scientist like him, his core, his heart, his brain, his soul is towards chemistry. What would he do? He came back to his lab. And that last moment, I have cried at that moment because I am being a chemistry scientist. I was able to connect myself to that guy straight away. He
Mm-hmm.
touches all those instruments, those big vessels. He's feeling them that this is my love, this is my true love. And then he dies over there. A true scientist who has worked his ass off on his experiments, that is his whole world. And that is what they showed. At that moment, he is not thinking about money. He's not thinking about his wife, not his baby daughter, not his teenage son, nothing. He's thinking about his lab, his research, his chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And this is extremely practical. If I would be at his place, I would do the same. So, some of the things are definitely practical, but the way you said, I completely agree with you. Some of the things are really, I mean, something that cannot
Exaggerated.
be.
Yeah. 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 Exaggerated. Yeah. Yeah.
Exaggerated, something
Mm-hmm.
that cannot be, foolish, stupid sometimes things are. And I'm seriously not sure when the writer writes those scenes or the director is directing those scenes, what they are thinking that why we should include this scene into that. Um, Many murder mysteries. I'm not talking about the genuine murder mystery movies. You know
Mm-hmm.
those college teenage students, college students, they go to a trip. Then there is this psycho killer after them. The many decisions that they make in when that psycho killer is after them. I'm like, why, why do you have to do this? There
Yeah.
was a simple way out of it. Why? But anyways,